On our discussion segment today, we'll be looking at issues around pension assets and liabilities as the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate (PTAD) seeks to better lives after service. To do just that, we have in the studio Dr. Choma Ejikeme, Executive Secretary of PTAD. It's a pleasure to have you on Business Express, ma'am.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay. So you've been the Executive Secretary of PTAD for the last 12 months. Tell us how the journey has been so far.
It has been an interesting and exciting journey, I must say. Taking care of senior citizens, of which I happen to be a part of. I am a PTAD pensioner. So I guess it's interesting for me to be part of administering a pension for the senior citizens of the defined benefit scheme. My predecessor had moved at a very fast pace concerning pensions. So I didn't have a choice but to hit the ground running. So it has been intense. We've been carrying out a lot of verification exercises to build our database. And,
how have you been handling the challenges of, quick access to pensions for the pensioners?
It has been wonderful. We have been paying pensions promptly. And whenever it's due, because that is a function of release of funds from the Ministry of Finance, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. And they have been very, very good with release of funds for pensions. So we've been paying our pensioners promptly, and they can attest to that.
All right, that's good to know. So can you highlight some of the achievements of your regime in the last 12 months?
The first big thing for us is the completion of verification of parastatal pensioners. And we concluded that in November, December last year. And we have actually started validating the results of that verification. And right now we're on the verge of removing about 21,227 pensioners off the payroll. These are pensioners who did not come for the verification, and they're not supposed to be on the payroll. But we actually have given out the information to the pension unions, and I'm here today to also say that there might be some pensioners who are genuine pensioners, but for some reason were not able to avail themselves of that verification exercise. And we're saying they should reach out to us before the 25th of September this month, so that we can look into their case, verify them, and put them on the payroll. We're also aware that a good number of our pensioners are diaspora pensioners, especially from the parastatal pension department, because we have a whole lot of professionals there, especially in the medical profession and all of that. So a lot of them left the shores of the country. So we are also seizing this opportunity to say that if you know that your relation worked in any of the parastatals and the universities, the colleges of education, and they're out of the country, please let them know to get in touch with us. And we have dedicated an email address for that, PAPD complaints at ptad.gov.ng. Everything is on our website so that they can avail themselves.
Will they be able to access their funds when they pass through all the procedures?
Oh yes. The only thing we're trying to do is to make sure that only credible pensioners are on our database. Genuine, credible pensioners.
So with the new minimum wage, I'm sure that there's implementation of percentage increase for pensioners. What have you been able to do as regards to that?
PTAD, like I keep saying, is an engine room for carrying out the mandate of the government concerning pensioners of the defined benefit scheme. So when it comes to salary structures, conditions of service, and all of that, we get instructions from the relevant agencies. The National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission had set up a committee to look into pension increment. And the committee, we happen to have chaired the committee. One of the directors from PTAD chaired the committee. The committee has concluded and I believe they've submitted a report. So we're just waiting for the recommendation. We're just waiting for the instruction.
How soon
They've
do you
made the
think pensioners will be able to get that percentage increase?
As soon as we get the instruction.
Okay.
Because we have been funded. We made provision for that increase in our 2020 budget.
Okay.
So we have been funded for that. So as soon as we get the instruction, we will implement.
Okay. You talked about database.
Yes.
So what are you doing to ensure that you get a reliable and credible database for pensioners across the country?
Yeah, the first thing we've done is the verification, like I told you.
Okay.
With the verification, we're able to weed out people who are not supposed to be there in the first instance. And going forward, we intend to put in place what we call the I'm Alive project.
Okay.
Because you know the way it is, the pensioners will keep falling off the database as a result of death. So we have to have a program in place that would let us know when these pensioners have passed on so that we could remove them from our database.
How does that work?
The I'm Alive?
Yes, the I'm Alive.
We actually are looking at proposals right now.
So it's in the pipeline?
It is in the pipeline, yes.
Okay, okay. All right. Activities of pension scammers must be a serious worry to you. What are you doing to checkmate these activities?
We continue to create awareness
Okay.
in the newspapers, electronic media, social media, through the pension unions. We tell our pensioners not to fall for fraudsters. Nobody in PTAD will take money from you to process your pension or to put you on the payroll or to pay you your arrears or gratuity. So we keep telling them not to fall for these fraudsters. But on the other hand, we are collaborating with ICPC and EFCC. So whenever we get such reports, we always send the complaint to the relevant authorities to investigate and look into it. And we have been successful. In some occasions, some people have been apprehended and they're facing the wrath of the law at the moment.
Okay, you've said that you've made giant strides in terms of addressing pension matters.
Yes.
But what about pension arrears? What have you been able to do with that, and what are you planning to do?
Pension arrears, these are inherited liabilities. And like I keep saying, when you've inherited something that took place over a period of 17 years, for instance.
That's quite a long
good.
time.
You don't expect to be able to resolve that particular liability in 1 year. We have two major groups of liabilities now that are in two major departments. One is the Civil Service Pension Department liability, where we have gratuities, arrears of pension, some people who are not on the payroll, post-verification that we're validating. I have set up a project that has started.
Okay.
And in fact, today I was able to sign off make approvals for payments for some pensioners that have been, their computation has been worked on as a result of the project. So on a daily basis now, I'm going to be paying gratuities, I'm going to be paying arrears, we're going to be putting people on the pension payroll from the Civil Service Pension Department based on the project that we're working on. But the liabilities of the Parastatal Pension Department, these are, most of them are agencies, defunct agencies that were privatized. Post-privatization, they just pushed the liabilities to PTAD, no pension assets. And these agencies had pension assets. A lot of them with underwriters, the insurance companies. So we're pursuing the insurance companies to release these pension funds, worth over 44 billion, belonging to these defunct agencies, so that we'll be able to take care of their liabilities. But government has been trying. Last year, we paid 12 months each of the liabilities, but we're talking about a liability of up to 150 billion.
But isn't it taking too long to get these monies to pay these pensioners? Because a lot of them are crying.
You know something, with the defunct agencies, These agencies were privatized in 2005. We've had successive governments since then. It is this administration that put them on the payroll.
Wow.
In 2018.
Okay.
We've instructed us to verify them. They had been wailing all these years. So we put them on the payroll. So at least now they're getting their monthly pension regularly. But the arrears accumulated, which if previous administrations had addressed these issues, we wouldn't have this problem. If they had done as much as we are doing now, we wouldn't have the problem.
All right, tell us plans you have for pensioners and the Directorate.
The I'm Alive project, like I told you, is key. It's key for us. We'll continue to fight pension fraudsters because they really distract us and make our work look bad when it is not. We also would continue with, like I said, payment of the liabilities that we have inherited for the pensioners. And I am particularly passionate about seeing that a health insurance scheme is put in place for our pensioners. But before we can do that, we have to have a credible database, first of all, and know exactly who our pensioners are before we can.
And you're already working on that, as you said.
Exactly.
All right. So we wish you the very best as you try to handle these pension matters.
Thank you very much.
We've been speaking to Dr. Chioma Ejikeme, the Executive Secretary of PTAD. It's a pleasure having you on Business Express.
Thank you.